Okay, now we're going to take a look at bobcats. Eastern cats, and we'll show you with a comparison to some westerns later. Eastern cats are not known for good spots. I mean, bobcats sell by the wider the belly and the more distinct the spots are. That's where you get your grade on a bobcat. We've got some typical Easterns here. These are all West Virginias. This is a Pennsylvania. We'll show you a little bit of difference between them. But this for an Eastern is a decent belly. You look at how wide it is and you look at the contrast, the black spots and the white belly. It's got a little gray, it's a little bit what you call dirty. It's not bright white. But for Eastern, this is a decent cat. The cats are always short over the neck. This one's a little thin. See right through here, I don't think it would be called a flat, but it is a little bit thin, right up in through here. But it's got a decent belly for an Eastern cat. You've got the width, you've got some good big spots on it. Okay, here's another Eastern, this is another West Virginia cat, better fur. If you see right up through here, even though it's still short, there's a lot more fur here than there was on the other. The belly's not the greatest. It's not real wide, but it is fairly white and it has some decent spots on it. Again, this is typical on an Eastern cat. So those are both pretty good cats for being Eastern. This one's getting a little thinner. Now you see the spots are not as distinct and you're starting to lose, you're getting some brown, you're getting some mud coming into the belly, so you don't have near as distinct the spots as you did on the other ones. You know, it's a little bit early, it's kind of flat, it's just not as heavy. If you see right up in here, it's kind of wiry. But the belly, you're losing it on the belly. The belly's thinner and you're losing your white. Okay, this one is more gray. It's got decent spots, but you see how they're not sharp and distinct. The spots are kind of just fuzzy instead of having that sharp, distinct spot on them. The width isn't bad for an Eastern cat. The fur isn't too bad. It is probably a little bit early. It's a little bit wiry up here on the neck, but that's a decent Eastern cat. I mean, it's not as good as the first ones you saw. Okay, this one has a real bad belly. Okay, the brown has basically taken over. There's pretty much no white in this belly at all. It's got decent nap to it. It feels a little bit thin, but you're going downhill yet with this one. You don't even have the white down here, but it's a little thin. It's got a little more up here on the neck than a couple of the others, but it is a little bit thinner cat. But again, no belly. This is what you're looking at on the cats right through here. You know, it's thin, the spots are not distinct, and there's very little white in it. Now we're getting even worse. Okay, very short nap, very thin. There's nothing there. Plus, there's almost no belly on this cat. It's gray where it should be white. It's brown where it should be white. Okay, this is, you're going to go at a number 3 in my book on this. This is also a sow that's been nursing. Okay, right in here you can feel where she had been nursing. That's where you get some dark stains on there. We've got worse over here to show you on that. So that's not a good cat. I mean, you're throwing out down to like a number 3 grade on that one because, you know, no belly and very weak fur. I mean, even if we look at this one, I'll let you guys look at it. Look at the difference if I can get the head. And I'll feel that one. See the difference between those? There's just, this is flat. There's nothing there. There's no underfur. There's no length to it. Same with this one. Okay. This one was a sow that was nursing. right here and right there. You know, there's the teats on it, and you look, this whole area right through here is stained. Okay, where it's not stained, there's basically no white. Spots are very weak. It's thin. It's not going to have much back here. It's pretty well flat. You know, that's a hard 3 on a Eastern cat. And then we got this one, which is probably the worst one of the bunch. I mean, basically, and again, it's also a sow that was nursing. Right there's the nipples, but there's basically no belly on this cat at all. It's what, 1.5 inches wide, something like that. You know, no white, no spots, and if you look up in here, it's just wire. You know, very flat. You know, very flat cat. Now, we'll pull the Pennsylvania cat back out. If I can get to it. There it is. Okay. You see the difference? I need to get over here, don't I? Okay. If you see the difference right in here, okay, you see the length difference, and there's actually a little under fur here on this compared to this. We come down here on the back, we've got some length, we've got some under fur, we got hair. You know, that's the big difference, is there's just nothing there. Okay. This is not a great belly. Okay, again, this was a nursing sow, you know, right there's where she was nursing. But at least it's got some length, you know, it's not flat like this one. So that's what we've got. You know, see, you're going downhill. Again, it's subjective, just like all grading is. But you see the difference. You know, you want to look at the bellies and how much weaker they get, narrower, less spots. We got a couple of westerns in here, and these are not great for westerns, but you're going to see the difference. A lot of people want to say, what's the difference between ours and a western? Why the big price difference? Okay, these are 2 westerns. This is the better end of an eastern right here. Okay, these, I say the bellies are a little dirty. They're not bright white. This one's a little better than that one. But look at how much width you got with that silky fur and how big the spots are. And these ones did what a lot of guys out west do. They call it a Nevada stretch. And it looks like the belly goes forever, because it starts here, goes through, keeps going up, and it looks like the belly goes clear up to here. That's because the front legs are folded up. Cats have good spots on the back sides of the front legs, so that's what they do. They will pin them, you know, pin those front legs up and make it look like the belly goes even further. Okay, you can look, you see the difference here. Look at the length and the density, and look at an eastern. Again, this is a West Virginia cat. The PA cat I've got here is PA New York border. Okay, it will have more fur, but it's still, you're not coming close to this, you're not coming close to the markings. We have in the east a lot of what we have they call rabbit backs. They're just a plain color, look like a cottontail rabbit. This is another big difference with the westerns. You'll have a lot of these. So you've got spots clear up into here. You've got that nice gray look. You've got spots clear up in the back on this one. You know, a little weak on the neck, but all cats are kind of weak up there. But here's the big difference. Compare the back, and then flip them over and compare the bellies. And I'll let you guys come up here and take a look at that and give your opinion on it.
It's night and day. That one actually feels a little thicker than that one.
Yeah, it is. This one here is a little bit thicker than this one.
It's like a different animal.
They are. It's like a complete different animal. And then when you go on the bellies, feel the thickness and the softness.
Wow.
It's like the eastern cat's more coarse.
Very
It's like
cool.
these have a softer fur. The western cats have a softer, fluffier fur on them. Okay. That's a big difference for everybody in the east that's wanting to know why the eastern cats don't bring the money of the westerns. This right here shows you. I mean, that's, even on the video, you got to be able to see that. Okay, we're gonna take another look at cats after they've been dressed too. It'll help out a little bit. They actually look, bobcats look a lot better dressed than they do when they're stretched. And the reason for that is cat skin, it just stretches way out of proportion and it thins the fur out. So these are West Virginia, same place as the one we showed you dry, but if you remember how flat they looked, now here's the same thing dressed. It looks like it's got, 3 times as much fur on it as it did when you saw it on the stretcher. And that's just the nature of the cat. Their skin is very stretchy and it thins the fur out. A little better idea on the bellies too. Okay, this is a pretty decent one. When somebody these are all mountable, but if somebody was going to take this to make something, see, they wet it and they stretch it out. Now that's starting to give you, when you pull that apart, that's giving you a fairly white belly and fairly wide. This is a pretty decent belly. This is one of those muddy bellies. The spots are brown, they're not very distinct. It's nice fur. I mean, it's got the nice fur length. And the small cats generally have softer fur. These are 2 young cats here. Neither one's got a good belly. See, it's all muddied together, nothing bright and distinct, but they've got soft fur. They've got that longer, softer fur. It's just like a house cat. A kitten's got better fur than an old tomcat. But yes, there you can see. I can say that's a decent belly on an eastern cat. It's fairly white, not a lot of gray in it, decent spots. A lot of gray. Spots aren't real distinct. Same thing with this one, small spots, a lot of gray. But the fur does look a lot better. The fur, once the skin shrinks back down, you end up with a fur that seems a lot more dense. That one's a little on the flatter side, but this one here, yeah, that's a pretty decent cat. It'd make a nice mount, it would make a nice hat, headband, gloves, whatever you wanted to do. So, just wanted to show you finished product on those, and it does look a lot better than they do when they're stretched and dried.